Good morning once again, my fellow agents. I hope you're doing well on this fine day. All right, so the entire point of this video is to start a discussion in the comment section about prototype gear, because a lot of players out there, including myself, we have a bunch of different concerns and we're wondering, how is this going to affect our builds moving forward? Now, first of all, I want to clear up a few things because there is a little bit of misconception out there. So first of all, prototype gear is only really needed in escalation missions. So if you're not playing those, you don't really need to have that gear. And the escalation missions, for the record, in case you don't know, they're the missions we already have in the game, but you have the ability to up them to like heroic plus, so on and so forth. Now, the main reason I mention that is because the game has said multiple times their main goal when they put this together was for players who have been at endgame for a very long time. They're looking for a new challenge. This is for players who want that level of a grind. But if you have no desire to do that whatsoever, the builds you have been working on for whoever knows how long are going to be completely and totally valid, and that will continue to be the case moving forward. Now, the reason I say that with confidence is because for me, and again, I'm a casual player, a few hours here, a few hours there, y'all know that about me. And when I was playing the PTS over the weekend, all I focused on was the escalation missions. Now, I played on levels 3, 4, and 5 the entire time, and out of 6 to 7 hours, I did not see one piece of prototype gear drop, which is absolutely abysmal. Now look, keep in mind as I say that, I'm not thinking that prototype gear should be dropping non-stop, but 0 drops in 6 to 7 hours of gameplay is absolutely terrible. It's awful, and that's something that definitely has to be fixed. And when you combine that with the fact that actually getting the gear set or brand set you're looking for that's prototype, it's going to be incredibly difficult because it's going to be based on targeted loot, which again is going to change on a daily basis, and these missions are going to be rotating, but it's all, again, look, here's the thing. I like the idea of prototype gear, but the state it's in right now, I don't think it's really what the community wants. And that takes me back to you, my incredible Division family. Please let me know in the comments section, what are your thoughts on what you've seen, what you've played, all those things. Because look, I'm not shitting on the entire thing. You know, for me, the idea of farming prototype gear sounded really damn good. But I can promise you, people are going to get burned out from this incredibly fast. I heard from a few players who played at tier 10, which at this point is the highest escalation level, and they played for 3, 4, 5 hours. They only saw maybe 2 or 3 drops. So these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section. One thing I'd like to mention is that the build I'm using right now in tier 5 is a non-prototype skill build, right? It's 3 Empress, 2 Hannah U, Waveform holster. I'm at shade level 128, so you can clear certain parts of it. But again, anytime we have something introduced into the game, and overwhelmingly you're hearing from every aspect of the community, whether it's a new player, whether it's a casual player like myself, or people who are just total vets and they have maxed out builds nonstop, and even they're having issues with certain things that are being implemented, or excuse me, how things could be implemented. You want to take note, and it's incredibly important, my friends. Now, one thing I've always promised to do here at the channel is always give you a fair and balanced assessment of what's going on in the game, both the good and the bad. And I ask that if you are going to leave comments in this video, please be respectful towards one another and try to remember everyone will play the game differently, right? We're here to have a discussion. We can have differences of opinions, and just because we don't agree on something doesn't mean we can't be grown-ass adults about it, right? So, again, we can have total disagreements. Tell me I'm wrong, whatever it is, we will always have those discussions, my friends. I'm never going to block you for that. But if you bash an individual, I don't care. You're going to be muted. No one's going to hear you. You're going to be crying in the corner. No one's going to care. So, again, the entire point of this channel is to build that toxic-free gaming environment where people work together, help each other out, have these discussions, and hopefully make the game better. That's all I got for this video. At this point, I'm going to leave you with a little more gameplay footage and a few final thoughts. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time. And as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Hello once again, my fellow agents. It is 9:44 a.m. Pacific. I need to run out the door for work, and my question to you is, how do we fix this? You know, I said this in the video. When you have all aspects of a community talk about different things they dislike about a new system, the game has to take note. This is not just about casual players. This is not just about vets. It's not about, you know, one portion of the community. It seems to me, regardless of how you play the game, if everyone is saying there are things they really don't like, needs to be addressed, and hopefully it will be handled ASAP, my friends. Now, as I wrap this up, I want to circle back to something I mentioned in the video as well, and that was the fact that, you know, if you're not going to do escalation missions, don't worry about it. You're totally fine. Like for me, look, if the grind for escalation is going to be like this, I have no desire to play whatsoever. This is me talking as a player, right? I'm just going to do something else. I'm going to continue to perfect certain builds. Because remember, this new prototype gear, this is about an end game grind if you want to go over and above other things. This is not going to impact the DLC. This is not going to impact the incursion. This is not, well, that's actually not entirely true, because if you don't have prototype gear, will you get the boot from playing an incursion? If I don't even know. So again, you see the issue we're having? But the point I'm trying to make is this. All of the content we have in the game right now, incursions, raids, legendary difficulty, heroic difficulty, that all of those things can be cleared by, or excuse me, with the gear that we currently have in the game. But to be very clear, prototype gear is going to have a ripple effect, and what we have to do is try to figure out exactly what that's going to be and hopefully mitigate any major issues we could see down the road because of the introduction of this new gear type. So I guess finally, a lot of you have asked me directly, what do I think? And for me, it's this. It's very simple. Look, I love grinding for new things in the game. It's a looter shooter. It's my favorite in the world. Like, that's why no other game, in my opinion, holds a candle to this one. If I am not able to pick up prototype gear, honestly, I don't really care. Like, I just made leveling up my expertise a priority because I've never, look, if you go back and look at my builds, you will notice that I don't think any of my gear has a level of expertise. That might not be entirely true, but if you go back and look at my most recent, let's say striker build, tipping scales, whatever it is, all of the gear is expertise level 0. Now there happen to be a handful of weapons I've leveled up, but other than that, I just never saw the point. And the way I play the game, what I'm saying is this: you don't need to have your stuff at expertise level 30 to complete what we have in the game, you know. And one question a lot of you have asked is, what are build videos going to look like here at the channel? That's never going to change. And what I mean when I say that is that if I make a prototype build here at the channel, I will always counter it in the same video with a non-prototype build and also show you gameplay footage with that non-prototype version as well. You'll always see both here, my friends. I think that's all I got for this video. Again, there's a lot to unpack. Let's see how the game responds, because there's no avoiding how the entire community is feeling right now. And this is why we have a PTS. And actually, one final thing, I heard people comparing this to when the whole seasonal characters were introduced. And this is a little bit different. The reason I say that is because originally when it came to seasonal characters, a lot of people were like, hey, that sounds great. There was some interest in that. But this seems to be something that the community has a major problem with, and that's regardless of how you play this game. So, as you've heard me say multiple times in this video, let me know your thoughts, because anytime, you know, I hear from 90% of you out there and you're like, this is a terrible idea, I do not like this, or you just say, I kind of like the idea, but the way it is lined up right now is terrible, not a good thing. Let's get it fixed. That's all I got for this video. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.